Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the chat show. I guess you could call it the public forum discussion. How are you guys doing? Who have we got here? We've got Paradox Fossils. Hi. We've got Trey. How you doing, Trey? B. Freeman. Good to see you. Who is who? Hey, good to see you there. That was screwy. Yeah, just ban them quickly. Yeah. Um, Waiting for a broadcast to come out from yesterday. Still hasn't shown up on my channel. So that's kind of a fun thing to wait for and see what happens. I can find it in your comments. So thank you for your comments. They helped me find the video. But I haven't seen it on my channel. Are we going to summon Zoe? She said she was out of here yesterday. She couldn't handle all the reading, I think. Yeah, so how are you guys doing? Happy Boxing Day to everyone. Zoe's your internet buddy. Awesome. So I don't know how many of you caught yesterday's show. It was pretty good with Crystal Shaman. She's suffering some effects that we've documented, and we talked about yesterday, but they're not around at the moment. I'll have to see if I can save that somehow, so that I can't. You'll point them out. That's awesome, Paradox. So, how have you guys been? I saw B. Freeman the other night. I haven't seen Paradox Fossils for a bit. I saw Trey the other day. So, yeah, just about ready. So I got a notification out. That was pretty impressive. I just got a notification, and I'm not used to that. So what's on your mind, guys? Anything from mud fossils to Taria, the universe, science, radiation? That was a bad subject, apparently. Hey, Scotty boy, how you doing? I have two lighters, Scotty boy. I have this one, and I have this one, okay? Scotty was commenting the other day that I didn't have this lighter, new Bic. I only had this one. I was down to my reserve lighter, but it's very small, so it doesn't take a lot of fuel, and it runs out pretty quickly. Hawaii being at war? What's that, Raw Dog? How you doing, buddy? Hawaii being at war. I hadn't heard a darn thing about that. Oh, okay. This is interesting. So, yeah, let's see what we've got here. When was that published? Publication date. Let's see here. Militarism and colonialism are inseparable forces which have shaped modern Hawaii over 100 years since the U.S. military participated in the overthrow of the Kingdom of Hawaii in 1893. Militarism continues to distort the culture and political environment. Oh, yeah. Well, you wouldn't want to mess with the political environment, would you? It's like a magnet pulling at particles of iron. Militarism in Hawaii is the product of Manifest Destiny, the racist ideology. Oh, is it? Which drove U.S. expansion into the Pacific, the Caribbean, and the 19th century. Located at the crossroads of Asia-Pacific commerce, guardians of the empire. Today, Hawaii is a linchpin in the U.S. military strategy in the Asian Pacific. Okay. So am I to understand that they have their own militia out there? Was it U.S. PACOM has? I'll show you guys this document here. Yeah, it is. Who is who? You're keeping to yourself. That's an interesting thing. So they may have a well-armed militia here. Let's see. Militarization of the INA. Central conflict between indigenous Hawaiians and the military is over the control of land, an issue which is intrinsically tied to the question of sovereignty and cultural survival. The military expropriated and occupied the richest of the most strategic locations, including important religious sites, fishing, farming, hunting, and gathering areas. As a result, Hawaii is one of the most densely militarized regions under U.S. control, with the military controlling 200,005 acres, or roughly 5% of the land, on Oahu, the mostly densely populated island. The military controls 85,000 acres out of 382,000 acres, or 22.4% of all land. Statewide, the combined armed services have 21 installations, 6 housing complexes, 8 training areas, 19 miscellaneous bases, and operating stations. Cool. Okay. Largest percentage of the military land holdings. Also called the ceded lands. Interesting. Yeah, that's the idea. Who is who? I think. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Good to see you here. Hi, Smoky NG. Oh, are they? They're trying to get the guns out of Hawaii, eh? I hope not. Okay. And they're saying if you have guns, turn them in and leave them. And leave. Wow. Most countries are foreign occupied. Yeah, as far as I know, there may be UN occupied lands in most countries. It's hard to tell in Canada because we do make a lot of their military equipment. We make their transports up here, so they are around. Let's see what you got there, Trey. CIA, for CSA first. ENE, Anunnaki. Yeah. Unfortunately, it always goes back to them. At the end of the pipe dream we end up on. We need more guns. Yeah, we do. Yeah. A well-armed population can be controlled by a government. So Hawaii is going solo. Hey, Paula. Okay. That's fine. Hawaii will die alone if we don't stand with them. Yep. Well, something like 23 Democratic senators have pretty much resigned their posts. Not resigned now, but they won't be running again. So you're going to get a whole bunch of new blood in the Democratic Party. I don't know how well that'll go. If they've cinched the election, like Biden doesn't seem to care about the election, so it looks like you'll get Democrats everywhere. Yeah, the U.S. did take Hawaii. That's a rumor you heard. Oh, okay. Yeah. Um, Another problem they'll have too, um, unless they can get enough forces in to implement things. Um, with Canada, our police force hasn't gone along with what the government has mandated, so it's hard to subdue a population without a force to do it. And I think in a lot of countries, the police are refusing to do this type of thing, but in some countries they are. They're trying to get all of the people out of there with any conscience. I don't know if that'll work or not. Not too long ago, yeah, that's about the same time that we got Newfoundland to become a province of Canada. It was like 1960. It was very late. They came along. They had their own money for the longest time, but we eventually convinced them to join Canada. Don't know how we did that. So let's take another little look in here. Let's see. Although the land at Barber's Point was supposedly more valuable than the Lauli parcel, 770 acres were lost from the native land base through this deal between the state and the federal government's cultural genocide. Let's see what else they talk about. Talk about a lot about the military, but they're not talking about. I was hoping to see site of resistance. Let's see. Here we go. Because of the military's overwhelming presence in Hawaii, resistance to militarism was relatively individualized and spontaneous until the 1970s, when an organized movement against the military occupation of certain lands first emerged in Hawaii. Emboldened by Third World liberation struggles in the U.S. civil rights, ethnic power, and anti-war movements, and inspired by the Hawaiian culture renaissance, Kanka Maoli, a progressive activist, began to push for more radical, anti-militaristic, and anti-colonialist agenda. The various elements of the movement came together in the effort to free Kaholewa. I'm going to ruin that poor man's name. As communities began to demand access and control over their lands, new conflicts with the military materialized, including Nohili, another word I can't say, and another few words I can't say. Kahulawe and Mkua are two examples of the Kanaka Maloe movement. Resisted militarism. The first example of Kalakiwolowoe is important because it was critical to the development of the Hawaiian movement. The second case describes the ongoing struggle over Mkua and reveals opportunities as well as complexities and challenges for the demilitarization and sovereignty. Cool. So there is a group that, that does sound good, B. Freeman. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Merry Christmas. Happy Boxing Day. So they have a resistance. There are armed militias around in the U.S., not so much in Canada. You guys, well, they went after the Proud Boys in the States, which wasn't really even a militia, by the supposed gang leader of it. He was just a bunch of guys sitting around in a bar talking. Hi, Crystal Shaman. How you doing? No, didn't show up on my channel yet. Nope. Still haven't seen it. I could check again, but I doubt it. Let's see here. Nope. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. It did show up. Sweet. Finally. I guess they had some major reviewing to do on that. Oops. Sorry about that. Where are we? Lost you guys. Okay. Yeah, that's good that it showed up. My wife watched it. She found it very informative. Canadians can throw rocks. Yeah, well, we've got a little bit more than that if it comes down to it. There's a lot of hunters and people who use the range, and there's quite a few guns in Canada. We're not completely unarmed, although we could be very quickly. They've been fighting for that land forever, says Scotty Boy. Yeah, it sounds like since the 70s, anyway. So that was rather interesting. Good to hear that there is some resistance. In 1977, two young activists disappeared crossing the channel between Kahoolawe and Maui. George Helm, the president of the PKO and a musician, and Kimo Mitchell. Oh, we have a musician in Canada called Kim Mitchell, a commercial fisherman and a National Park Service manager. While many suspected foul play, their disappearance increased the sense of urgency in the movement and generated wilder support. That's good. After discovering a wealth of prehistoric sites, archaeologists confirmed that what Kanake Maoli had said all along, that Kahoolawe is culturally and spiritually important to the Hawaiians. This led to a 1990 consent decree, which required the Navy to limit the use of the island and began cleaning up certain areas. It also allowed PKO to have monthly access to the island following the consent decree. The entire island was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. So some wins there. That's nice. So that's good to hear about resistance in Hawaii. You had a DUI in Hawaii once. You were driving Maui on Makai. Doing party boats. LOL. Yeah. That's fun. So that's good to hear. Let's see. You can't RVAN on PN. Kulov, it's loaded with live ammo. Okay, don't quite get that, Scotty Boy. You're thinking quicker than you're typing, I think. Check here. Let's see what wiki. Okay, let's go to wiki here for a sec. The Canadian militia is a historic title for the military units needed for the defense of Canada. So it doesn't seem see, refine that search. Three percenters are Canada's most dangerous extremists. Militias are not technically illegal in Canada. Let's see. Well, they're calling them white supremacists. Okay. I'm sure that their ranks contain many different peoples. When hundreds of white supremacists stage a march in Charlottesville, VA last August, most of the attention was on the counter-protester killed when a vehicle believed to have been driven by one of the marchers plowed a crowd of pedestrians on the controversial statements made about the event by the U.S. president. Growing in Canada, let's see. Mac Lamoureux of the news site Vice first reported last spring that the Three Percenters had established a chapter in Alberta. Nearly a year later, CBC, the weekly, had uncovered details about the group's growing membership, including a newly established chapter in Ontario, and members spanning every province. They are the most dangerous group right now, says Maxime Fissette, a former neo-Nazi who works for the Center for the Prevention of Racialization Leading to Violence in Montreal. He has been monitoring the group since they first formed in Canada. Wow. It is a deep paranoia and an American way of libertarianism, he said. There's a feeling of dread, anxiety. I've known people who feel threatened by the outside world. The Three Percenters are increasing their ability to fight back. Malicious, chilling presence at rallies, but few signs of violence so far. Like, come on. Civil rights probe launch after clashes with white nationalist rally in Virginia. So they keep referring back to Virginia where they can cite a death. Interesting. What are you guys thinking of this? What is this? What document is being read about this Canadian militias? Let's see. I think it was. We'll go back and take a look. It's a CBC report. Crystal. CBC is one of our news agencies controlled by Justin Trudeau. Yeah, you're a white supremacist, you're racist, you're something, you know. That's how they end the argument. They drop that bomb on you, you know. I'm not pro lockdown. You're a racist. You're a supremacist, you know. But I'm black. But no, you're still a supremacist then. I can put a link to the document here. Let's see. So you can take a look. And if you'd like a link to the other one, I can put that up too. First and last time you drove there, got in trouble. I should have kept my mouth shut. Yeah. Yeah, shouldn't be drinking and driving. It was different when we were younger. There weren't as many cars on the road as there are now. It was a lot different. Yeah, you forgot being a racist. Yeah. Don't forget that. Everybody's racist. I was drinking something with 4 kinds of rum in it. Okay. That does sound delicious. My wife used to love rum, so. So let's get back here. Let's see. Paramilitary training illegal. Oh, is it? Interesting. They say their mission is to defend Canada's heritage from their enemies, both foreign and domestic. But one of Canada's leading experts in hate crimes, Barbara Perry, a professor at the University of Ontario Institute of Technology in Oshawa, Ontario, who has studied the group, says it's actually a far right prepper militia movement that is actively arming and engaging in paramilitary training. Yeah, okay. Paramilitary militias are not technically illegal in Canada, but some armed groups that engage in military like training risk violating parts of Canada's criminal code. I don't think they do, but Section 70 of the Criminal Code prohibits assemblies of person without lawful authority for the purpose of training or holding drills, being trained or drilled in the use of firearms, practicing military exercise. Well, that's your interpretation. That's not actually the law. Um, Perry says Islamophobia is the ideology that underpins the 3%ers. Okay, so racist, Islamophobic, and a few other things. We are not anti-Islam. Let's see. We'll avoid that propaganda. The 3%ers use Facebook to plan activities such as tactical training, which may be outlawed in Canada soon. That's not in the article, that's just a comment by me. Monitoring of mosques and what they call security jobs, similar to the ones they were carrying out in Charlottesville protests. Some members of the Alberta 3%ers made their public debut in Calgary last June, a rally hosted by the World Coalition Against Islam, fronted by anti-Islamic activist Sandra Solomon. Okay, so they may have some anti-Islamic bent. Members of the 3%ers have since posted as security at similar rallies in Toronto, London, and Hamilton. Cool. Their presence is a demonstration at Hamilton City Hall last year, opposing the Liberal-sponsored, that's the city I live in, Hamilton, anti-Islamophobia motion, known as M103, prompted the City Council to pass a motion banning groups from hiring unlicensed security for events on public property. Well, you just get them their licenses, and that should be fine. Hamilton councillors target white supremacists with a ban on unlicensed security. Yeah, okay. Armed and purportedly trained. Cool. At rallies, members of the 3%ers dressed in fatigues with tactical vests and carry non-lethal weapons called shock canes used to stun cattle. Yeah, okay. That's pretty decent. Interesting stuff. Primarily training or learning skills. Yeah, they were awesome, says Circle K. Trey says, hope they're alphabet agencies, militias, Drips, and Hope aren't docked near Alaska. Yeah. Noir, West, Canada, Waco, Texas, Parables. Yeah. One of those dangerous drinks that tastes like punch. Packs one too. Yeah. Yeah, like what is it called? A tequila or tequila sunrise. You can drink those things down like crazy. Like slow gin fizzes. Now I really want one. Okay, Paula, that's fine. I have ingredients to make berry sangria. Oh, okay. Now we're on to drinking. Okay. Yeah, what's happening with the alphabet agencies? Canada has a few. We have CSIS that we know of, but Canada is very deceptive as a country and as a government. They may have private organizations that we still don't know about. They're quite good. They only told us about CSIS. Well, in my lifetime, it wasn't that long ago. It may have been 10 years, 20 years ago, but CSIS was hidden from the public view and knowledge for quite a long time. Oh, is John here? Didn't see him. John Little? No? Okay. What's the squiggly wire? I just stuck that up there for fun. I've been finding copper wire all over the place. That's all right, Circle K. Yeah, I just stuck it up there for fun. It's nice, like little bouncy thing. Jiggles around. I keep finding copper wire and other pieces of copper all over the place. I found a thick one about, oh gosh, just walking along. I'll show you. Looks like a big horseshoe, but it's just a. I think it was on its way to the recycle place. Where you turn in metals. So the recycler, metal recyclers. But just stumbled across it, and I stumbled across this and a whole bunch of other wire at the same time. I carry a bag with me a lot of times, so I just stuck it in my bag, brought it home. I thought it was your new EMF protector. I don't know. I'm getting a EMF detector, like a sensitive one, on the 5th of January. So I get to play with that a lot. That'll be fun. Been watching videos about people using various different things for protection because we got to do something. America is overt where they meet. They have deep underground places. Yeah, when I moved to this city, there was a lot of underground noises going on, and I live relatively close to a Walmart. And they seem to like to link tunnels with Walmarts. If you take out all the product, you can put in fencing, portable fencing, screw it to the floor, and make detention centers very quickly. Yeah, we have Dow Industrial up here too. There's a plant, I think it's in Mississauga, and they've been sued several times for pollution, I think. But we know what Dow is into. They're not the most reputable company with all the lawsuits filed against them. And that's something that amazes me too, when you think about it. All of these companies that have these multi-million-dollar lawsuits, they've been caught for lying to the public, faking results, yet they still are in operation. It doesn't make any sense. They should be put out of operation and disbanded, destroyed. If you've been, you don't, if you hire an accountant to do your taxes and he cheats on the taxes and somehow scams some money out of you, he loses his license. He doesn't get hired again next year to do more people's licenses. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right? Is my mind working properly? You know, that person doesn't practice accounting anymore. But yet there is an industry where they do that. They cheat, they fraud, they lie, and damage people, kill people. And we say, okay, yeah, keep doing your job. Don't stop. It makes no sense. Yeah. They have Walmart entrances. Yep. Walmart's been scanning people, they say, taking retina scans. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably would. Get all of your data so that they can calculate that they've got everybody when you get in there, right? When they get you all packed in there. What's that you guys talking about? If, yeah, shit. Yep, that may be, Crystal. Now, there's also the power grid, and you can use long wires. I've seen. Interesting thing I saw was during it was a 4th July 1st in Canada. We celebrate July 1st festival. Somebody used a Chinese lantern and it drifted into the power lines and shut down the power. Just an interesting thing to think about. But I don't know if they haven't. That's the interesting part, B. Freeman. Right underneath them is not the worst place to be. If you watch the video from last night, they explained how it works. Like if you're in front of the emitter in a certain V-shaped pattern, you're going to get more exposure. If you're right underneath it, it's actually less because it's pointing outward. Yeah, take some mental notes. Concrete walkways, footings are flying away from Walmart. Solanas 144K and change ahead your way. Yeah, that's a good one, Trey. EMP. I don't think that would do it, B. Freeman. I think they'd be pretty resistant to that. Plus, you'd have to have that type of an effect, you'd have to use something the size of like a nuclear bomb. And even with a huge amount of capacitors, I don't think you'd be able to produce enough to take out a power station or a tower. I don't think so. Yeah, that is a bad word, termite. Add an H in there. Right? If you take those termites and wrap them in a towel, and a towel can be strapped to something. To make a termite roll. They'll probably be feeding us termites pretty soon. So, yeah, I don't know how we can do that with the range that they have. Crystal wasn't the one that document claiming they had like almost a 25-mile range. Now that's dissipating in energy as you get closer or farther away, but yeah. We'll see. There's a couple people I know who are still working on alternative methods of protection. As I say, the best I've found so far is the clothing. That seems to work the best. Cicada sticks. But for the higher bandwidths, like are coming out, I don't know that the clothing will be enough, you know. So I'm still looking at different things. Such well, this I think that I'm wearing acts as an antenna. I think I'll be able to test that theory in a while. Hopefully, it's not too late. But this one apparently, I think it acts like an antenna. They claim it aligns your chakras. It might. I don't know. Giant critters on a stick. Have you seen this? Oh, cicadas. Those are huge. Huge, juicy critters. Yep, bad word. I'm taking many notes. Good, bad for the towers. Eh. Have you seen the cicada sticks? Yeah, I bet they are. I've seen cicadas up close. They're big ass creatures. You know, the ones up here are about an inch and a half long, and they're really thick, like fat. They look like little tanks. Well, critters that do fly in front of those things do get cooked. It it boils the water inside them. The hope is that they notice it and don't go near it. But people that work for the Navy have mentioned that you can't step in front of a dish. That's death. You know that'll kill you. It'll boil you, burn you. Esau's sea creatures. Yeah, Sikas. Juicy. Well, that was an interesting term, guys. Militias. Thanks for whoever mentioned that. I forget who it was. But it made me look up Canadian militias, and they seem to have pointed to one they can take a stab at and bash and call them radicals and whatever else, so they can apply that type of a thing to all militias in Canada and make laws to limit their actions. Upcoming legislation, I'm sure. They've been attacking free speech up here in Canada too. Free speech is under attack by laws. I forget which one now. They've been trying to pass so many lately. Well, yeah, but you don't know what that goo tastes like. Yeah, I've seen a couple of live ones, Paula. And how you doing? Happy Boxing Day. Yeah, I've seen a couple live ones, but their shells are all over the place, eh? No. I don't know if the shell has any protein left in it. Probably stripped dry. Of course she did. Why wouldn't you? That's hilarious, Paul. Yeah, we'll have to. I'll check in. I've asked a friend of mine who has a meter, same one I'm getting, if he's done certain tests. I'm waiting for responses back to see. You just woke up? Oh. And we're talking about bug food. You ready for breakfast? B. Freeman says they're delicious. So, is there anything on your mind, Paula? What were you dreaming about? Anunnaki? Trey, I think, dreams of Anunnaki and all the gods. The way he talks. Do you, Trey? I've already eaten. Okay. That's good. Sometimes I do. I dream about them. Mostly their representations and stuff like that. But yeah. You don't dream? That's fair. I don't dream very often. Usually I just go to sleep and wake up. It's fun. I like it that way. You dreamt about snakes? What, like in Raiders of the Lost Arks? Unless an Archon interrupts. Yeah. Snakes, lizards, serpents. The Anunnaki. All right. See you, Circle K. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I pay much more attention to the moon than the sun. Although the sun controls our atmosphere and weather a lot more. They weren't very active snakes. I'll miss marshmallows. You'll miss marshmallows when the world ends. I think I'll be okay without them. Marshmallows, that's cute. Do you eat the peeps? Or do you get the bagged marshmallows and make s'mores? Much love to you too, Crystal Shaman. Have a good night. Oh, you're saying good night to Circle K. Sorry. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a class tonight. I have a destination pre-planned, so I won't tell you what it is, like I ever do. Peep eater, yeah, s'mores are the best. I've seen peeps. I don't think I've ever had one. I've actually seen them in the store. People have described them as dried out marshmallows. I don't know. Snakes weren't coming up. They seemed to have movement issues, and I was raising my eyebrow. Okay. Movement issues. Okay. Oh, thanks, Trey. Much love to you, buddy. All right. You guys are making me hungry, even with the bug talk, eh? Yeah, it is 5 o'clock here. It's almost dinner time for me as well. They have to be old and stiff to be any good? Okay. I did not know that, Smoking and Jeep. It's been so long since I've had a marshmallow, so I really don't know. Snakes look like animal tails, and it was confusing. Yeah. Well, there's so many animals representations and icons that are in the zodiac and mythology. If you can pick out which ones you were seeing, that's pretty cool. I was watching a video the other day that cats are the secret mercenaries for the cat people from Lyra. That they're all in contact psychically, watching the human race. So there's the cat people and the dog people. We haven't done. I don't know if we've done much work on the cat people. Um, I have to think, but if I have to think this hard about it, I'm going to say no, we haven't. And if I can't remember doing any work on the cat people, I don't know if you guys can. They may have shown up in some of the results from a question, but I haven't specifically asked about them. That's right. There were cat people at the writing of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and various other types of creatures. Yes. That's right, Smoking and G. That's what I said, was that Lyra watches us through cat's eyes. Waiting for a petting, that's right. Or to kill you. They're all assassins. That's why they run in front of your legs. That's to kill you. They're just not very successful or very ambitious at it. That's my opinion. Plus, they love the pets and the treats and stuff. So they're kind of tossed between they're imperative to kill you. This is just my own theory. They're imperative to kill you, which they must do, or at least attempt to do, and their love of treats and belly rubs and head scratches. So I think they just do a half-assed job of it. And if they happen to kill you, hey, they've done their job. And if they don't, well, then they get treats and pets, right? So that's why I think cats run in front of people's legs. It's a half-assed attempt at killing you, so they can report back. Yeah, look, see, I did my job. I tried to trip him. He didn't fall. I demanded treats after for doing my job, and he gave them to me. So job well done. My report is entered. Until next time, right? Or I batted my ball out into the middle of the road, middle of the walkway there. Friend has two cats. One stares at a distance, and the other comes up to me like a pug dog. My friend said she sees dog in her cat and laughs. Yeah, it's the personalities are interesting on cats. What do you think all this has to do with Lemuria? Lyra, Lemuria? Maybe. Vicious fur balls? Yeah. I don't know if Lemuria fits into it. Lemuria, to me, I don't know if I entirely buy into that. It's an interesting concept, but I think it's more of a symbolic thing than people describe it as fully manifested. I'm not sure. I'm leaving PDF. Okay. Our early past here on Earth is a subject that I'm looking more at the physical history of it than man's experience. And I think a lot of the Lemuria talk is more of man's mental experience than his physical being. But I could be completely wrong on that. Even that was channeled information, which is often quite good, you know. No Zoe yet. Well, we haven't we? Have we done a summoning for her? I only have a few more minutes here. I should probably get off and go eat. Maybe Zoe is here and Leap Project. Maybe more. Oh, cool. Yeah, Lemuria is an interesting concept. I don't know quite what to think of it. I kind of stick to more of a concrete existence that, at least at the moment, I don't know. But that does, to me, have a lot to do with after human, the human, you mean? Yeah, yeah, that could be. But what they claim, the different forms we took throughout the history, like the first form where we were basically eternal, is what they claim, like a liquid. Well, that could be, to me, that could be like we were spirit, kind of on the precipice, maybe. I don't know. It's an interesting theory. Still trying to understand Lemuria. Yeah, it is. It's an interesting concept. You know, Pale Leo, Pale Leo. Yeah, yeah, a constellation. Father Leo, Pa Leo. No Max Cat today. No, he hasn't been around, which is surprising. He usually comes around. I was trying to say the word unless. I've been trying to, but it just makes its way into my speech. I don't know how to change that. I'll have to work at it. Yeah, no Max Cat today. There's Pa Leo, so I had my chart up here the other day. I don't have it now. Yeah, absolutely. Nebula. Nebula. I like that. It's part of Orion. Okay. Yeah, I like the Orion. I love that word. Orion. Maybe Max is a he. He better not be. A star cluster. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Chakras for the human. Yeah, absolutely. That's nice. we're at an hour, and I'm ready for dinner. I am planning to do a show later tonight. We'll do a class. As I say, I have a destination or two in mind, so we might get to 2 destinations tonight, which will be fun. Until next time, keep that third eye open. Use your intelligence and your intuition. Bye-bye, guys.